What up, world? Welcome to another episode of RMT. That's Real Man Talk. It's your boy, Stan the Man, coming to you with another great conversation piece on today. And before we get started, I want to thank you for joining me here on RMT. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it today. Today, we want to talk about the silent fight. Yes, the silent fight. That battle within that's going on, that pain that's in your eyes, that pressure that you have to go through that don't nobody else see. That thing that's keeping you up in the middle of the night and nobody else knows that you're going through it but you and God. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That Mike Tyson heavyweight championship fight that you win and you seem to be losing that fight, going round after round after round, and nobody else know it because in public you have a smile, you have joy, you're looking out for other people, doing so many things within the community, with your church, with your family, with your friends, at work, in your business. You're doing all these spectacular things while having a smile on your face, while doing it with joy, and the whole time you don't have any peace within because you battling yourself. You battling yourself. Sometimes we battle ourselves for one thing to think that we are not good enough to be in the spaces that we are in. We're not good enough to be able to perform at a high level at a job. We're not good enough or worthy enough to have a good wife, to have a good husband, to have good children, to have good relationships. We don't think that we are worthy enough to be put in that position and to have those things. So within, we're constantly in our mind thinking that, hey, do this really supposed to be happening to me? Am I really the person that deserve this? Maybe I'm just dreaming and all of one day this gonna be over with, right? This gonna be over with. This not really my life, but while the I'm gonna enjoy the moment right now because I know it's gonna be over with soon. And since we act like that towards our situation, yes, because now not only are we thinking that we're looking for things to start to go wrong, we're looking for things to say, yeah, I knew that was too good to be true. We're telling ourselves that. Instead of embracing what's good going on in our life, if it's our relationship with our spouse, if it's our relationship with our children, if it's our business that's going good, if it's our work relationship, if it's our relationship with God that's going great, instead of embracing it and being grateful and thankful that everything is going good, in the back of our mind and our subconscious, we thinking when it's gonna go wrong. And since we got that in the back of our mind, and we continue to think that we look at every situation to make sure that it goes wrong. And we got ourselves up against the ropes, fighting against ourselves. We're fighting against the goodness that's going on in our life. Ain't that crazy? That we fighting against the good thing that's going on because we expecting something bad to happen. You know, if you ever was in a fight and just say you look at boxing or just a fight in general, if you already think that you're gonna lose, going in there with that mentality, you think you're gonna give it your best. If you already think you're gonna lose, if you already think that you're going to get a divorce, you think you're gonna fight for that marriage. If you already think that your business is gonna fail, you think you're gonna really do what you need to do to make sure that that business flourish. If you already think you're gonna get fired from that job, do you think you're gonna go in there and be on time and do what you need to do in there when you are there? Do you think that the relationship with God, if it's gonna be that bad, are you gonna put your all into it? Are you gonna spend time with him? You gonna read your word? You gonna give thanks to him? Are you gonna do those things? Or in the back of your mind, you're going to continue to fight against yourself. And as soon as you step in the ring, you're going to get knocked out because you already lost the fight mentally. So physically, you're not going to put your all into it. See, our brain controls how our body operates. Because if the heart don't control it, the brain. Your heart pumps blood to make sure everything is operating, but your brain controls everything. So if somebody's in the hospital and they say they're a vegetable, that means they're alive, but they're not able to think, and they are not able to think and move their limbs and operate by themselves because their brain is dead. And so when your brain is alive and you able to operate and do all those things, when you think that you are sending it all over your body, that you don't believe that this is supposed to happen to you. And that's the battle that we start off already. In our mind, we start losing right there. So physically, when it start to come out, when the internal come out into the external, and those thoughts start to come out and you start to act on the negative things, life starts to fall apart because you're already fighting against yourself and bringing yourself down just off your thoughts. And I'm gonna read this because I got it in my notes, right? Come from Psalms 34 and 18, and it says, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and save those who are crushed in spirit." Yes. See, one thing that we think that once we get brokenhearted, once we think that a situation is not gonna work out in our a situation don't work out in our favor, sometimes people think they need to lash out. Especially when it comes to like relationships, somebody break up, it's a bad relationship, and you got some bitterness inside of you. When you have that bitterness inside of you, you feel like you got to talk down on the next person, or you got to just air out all their dirty laundry. You can see a lot of people that get on social media and call their self exposing the person they was in relationship with, and they'll start to talk about all these things that they do. They start to talk about all the things that they saw this person doing that society would deem as you crazy for being with them, but when they was in a relationship and they didn't see that, now they want to expose them, but you stayed with them while they was doing all these things. You stayed with them. You was in love with them, and you was around them while they was doing all these things, and then you go on social media and vent, let all these people know about your business, about some of the disgusting things that these people do, and now you want to expose them, and it got you looking like a fool too, because that bitterness will have you to act out because you just want to get that bitterness out. Sometimes we need to kind of isolate ourselves in silence. Sometimes you don't, even if the other person talking bad about you, sometimes it's just best to be quiet and let the Lord fight your battles. We are so eager to protect and defend ourselves. And I understand that. Don't get me wrong. In some instances, you got to protect and defend yourself. Don't get me wrong. But in some instances, you should just let God do it. Because we want to get in, I got to have something to say. I got to do this. I got to do that. And that bitterness that's in the other person that caused them to say, to lie, and do all those things that they said or did to you or posted about you, you want to get some get back. But sometimes the truth don't even need any get back. The truth that needs you to live out who you already were. See, that's a good thing about being honest and being who you are. See, the lies is short-lived. You know how you got a video that it'll shoot up in views because it's so negative, everybody watching it, then all of a sudden it just fall off. Don't nobody think about it, don't nobody listen to it, don't nobody even worry about it anymore. But when somebody is true about who they are, how they are living, and who they are, it's going to be consistent. So even after that person lied, even after everything that that person did, that person is still going to be the same after that. It's still going to be the same. It's still going to continue to they still going to continue to be who they are at the core, regardless of the bitterness that was spewed towards them. And we sometimes, when people are gossiping about us, when people are lying about us, it's best to just be quiet and don't say nothing to nobody sometimes. It's best to just be quiet. Sometimes you ain't even got to tell your side of the story, because sometimes you ain't got to tell your side of the story, because the truth will be revealed in due time. At that time, God might be teaching you how to be quiet. He might be showing you who really on your side, who rocking with you, who not rocking with you. See, we take people gossiping and people talking about us. Yeah, it's a hurtful thing, but also that exposes the people that you really thought that was in your corner. It might be somebody that's getting too close to us, and we see the gossiping talking about us as something negative, but it might be protection from God. We don't look at it as protection and provision. I mean, we don't look at it as protection. We look at it as, oh man, I can't believe they did this. I can't believe they did that. What if you got to a point in your life where you was more successful? You was at a level that you actually, where you was at a level that you wanted to be at, and this person and that happened to you. So now this happening at this level. So you understand how to handle and walk through this at this level, so now you can move up to the next level and you'll know how to deal with it. See, certain things can get thrown at you and tossed at you, and God can be like, you know what? I know that you can handle it. I know how you're going to act towards this, so I can give this to you because I know you're not going to act crazy with it. I know you're not going to let that bitterness build up in your heart and you react the way that I don't want you to react. And that's probably what he's teaching you within the moment. And when your emotions is involved, sometimes we can get to the point where we just want to get back and say something. Then we end up saying something or doing something that we regret. We end up saying or doing something that we regret in the long run. And then you'll look back and be like, I ain't even have to say or do what I did. I could have just chilled. I could have just chilled and shut up, and I could have just fought that battle in silence. That's another battle that I had to fight by myself. That's something that I had to deal with by myself that ain't nobody else gonna see. And it's hard to deal with people talking about you and lying on you and dealing with that by yourself. And the people that you love and you care about be the ones that's doing it. So the person that you usually talk to, because a lot of us, yeah, we say we go to God, but we physically want somebody to talk to. Let's be honest. If we're being honest right here, we physically want somebody to talk to another human being. And so when you go and the people that you usually talk to is the one talking about you, ooh wee. Now you to the point like, hold on, let me get on my knees, because the person that I usually go and vent to, they the one that's telling the stuff that I thought that they was gonna keep a secret. See, I'm glad that that big stuff that I was really dealing with, I didn't say that to them that was gonna embarrass me, because they would expose me. Or it was something that happened that you was embarrassed about and they exposed it, but it's something minor that you can get over. And see, you glad that they exposed it, because now you ain't got to deal with them no more. You ain't got to deal with them no more. And see, this is a good thing about being by yourself and getting quiet, because then you can hear God's voice a little bit better when you by yourself and you quiet and you seeking him. You can hear his voice a little bit better, so you know what to do. See, sometimes I like to use this illustration, right? Everybody know about David and Goliath and how David took down Goliath. Goliath was a giant, and David was this small, good-looking young man that took down Goliath. But a lot of people don't bring up the other parts about what happened to David when he was out. He was a shepherd over his daddy flock. And a lion came and tried to attack. He took down the lion. A bear came and attacked. He took down the bear. But people don't often tell that part. And see, when you in the gym and you working out, you might not tell everybody I'm going to the gym, but they can just see the results. You might not tell everybody that, you know what, I'm working on my business, but they can see the results. You might not tell people, well, I'm trying to get promoted at my job, but they can see the results. You might not tell the people you're trying to lose weight, but they can see the results. So that's let me see how can I put it. That's the training ground, like ground zero, the hidden what's the word I'm looking for? The hidden training ground that God puts us in to train us for the next level that we want to go to. And when we have to do that battle by ourselves, when you have to go to the gym by yourself, when you have to build and do these things by yourself, and you're used to people being around, it can be tough. But you can do it. That's the difference. You can do it. And you can do it. And I want to read this one right here to you. Is Matthew 6:6. And it says, but when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. Yeah, so everything ain't got to be done for show. Everybody ain't got to see you do it, but they real see the results. They real see the results. And I'm gonna tell you this too. Everybody ain't gonna be happy with your results. That's another thing. Everybody's not gonna be happy with your results. They not. You think if you been the punching bag of everybody joke for being overweight all these years, and you come around and you lost some weight and you looking good, you think that they want their punching bag gone? You think if you was the black sheep of the family and all of a sudden you turn around and get your life together, you think that them people want you to come around doing better and you use the butt of everybody joke? I hate to say it, they don't. People like to, and if we can be honest for a second, people like you to stay in the shape that you was in, that they feel more. Let me reword that. People want you to stay the same way so they can be comfortable with you when you come around. Yeah, that's better. People want you to stay the same way so they can be comfortable with you when you come around. They don't want you to get better. Let me tell you this. They don't want you to get better because they have to look at their self and be like, you know what, it's something that I need to change. I can see why Stan went around when he come back around. Now I'll be like, oh man, this joker don't drink no more. Man, this joker saving up his money and, doing different things. Like, man, he still drank. He just sneaking and drinking. Oh yeah, well they losing weight. Yeah, they losing weight. They went in. Oh, they didn't eat right. They didn't do this. They probably had a surgery. They probably did this, or they probably on drugs. They might be sick. And this the kicker. You go around folks that be like, how you able to do that? It never ceased to amaze me. People will be like, "How are you able to do that?" Because let me say this: people already think they try to size you up to see how much better they are than you. So you talking on the phone, oh, did you go? You went to this? You go to this trip? Nah, I ain't went to this trip. Have you been here? Nah, I ain't never been here. Oh, well, you got this in your portfolio? Oh, no. Do you stay here? No, or you where you work at? Oh, what you in management or people are always trying to ask enough questions to see how much better I am than you. And then if they feel like they're better than you, if you doing something that they feel like that you shouldn't be doing, oh man, it's a problem. I don't know how they did it. They must be doing something. They must be hooking and crooking in order to get what they got. You got to be doing something that's they don't know nothing about. But the fact that you just blessed and you're able to do those things because you have changed your life and decided that you wanted to do better. They don't get that. They always want people to be under you. People always want you to be under them. So to make them feel better, for their ego to feel better. Man, I remember before I stopped drinking, when I was drinking real heavy, man, I used to have people always come around. Used to always come to my crib, man, and at the time we were staying in a decent home. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of people felt where we stayed at that where they stayed at was better. So yeah, they was comfortable coming around at that time. They saw the automobiles that we were driving, and they thought their automobiles was better. They saw the way that we was dressing, and the way they dressing was better. They saw the neighborhood that we stayed in, and they thought the neighborhood that they stayed in was better. So people felt more comfortable coming around. So when I was wasting money, burning up money, wasn't spending time with my family, wasn't loving on my wife and my kids the way that I supposed to, people love to see that. Because people feed off that negative energy to make sure that you're not all what everybody said you cracked up to be. Yeah, people get up under you to say, oh, he ain't all what he say he is. He ain't all that, man. I was around that nigga and he was saying this, he was doing that, treating his wife, treating his kids any type of way. Yeah, they'll slide up under you for that. But I tell you this, when you start to improve, when you even start to get married and take your family and take these things serious, people start to separate because they don't want to do that. It's the enemy. The enemy don't want to see anything positive, and then see, as long as you're doing something negative, everybody gonna want to be around. I'm telling you, them negative spirits, man, that negative energy will spread like a wildfire. Everybody be around you. But as soon as you want to do something good, as soon as you want to do something positive, as soon as you want to have an impact on people's lives in a positive way, everybody separate. Everybody gone. You wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it. But here's the thing right here. Even though everybody gone and everybody separated, you gonna be fighting with that, wondering why they not around anymore. What did I do? That's the first thing I thought. What did I do to them? What did I do to people to the point where you don't want to be around me because I changed my life for the better? Yeah, I separated out and talked to some people, but as I changed my life, yeah, some people I wasn't going to deal with no more because I did not agree with the things that they was doing or the way they was living their life. But they going to start to separate themselves. They going to start to say, "Oh man, you got married, you start acting funny. It's your wife that got you acting like that. It's your husband got you acting like that. Oh, you got that job. You think you all that. You acting like you all that now. Oh, y'all bought that house. You think you all that. You think you all that." Everything gonna be a problem or an issue, but it wasn't like that before. because the positivity that comes along when you're doing right, you get a momentum to keep on going and keep on improving. And sometimes people don't want to improve their life. They don't want to move forward. They want you to stay with them. They're comfortable with you staying with them or behind them to feel like they're doing better. And sometimes we fight with that moving forward because we don't want to feel like we're leaving people behind. A lot of people fighting with that. A lot of NBA players, NFL players, they call it survival remorse. Even anybody that so-called made it out the hood or made it out their situation to do better, everybody be like, oh man, you come back and do this and this and that. And a lot of people fight in silence and feel bad, and people make them feel bad for being successful or changing their lives. But you have to make it up in your mind and look, yeah, I got through that, and you gonna feel how you gonna feel. But me and my family gonna move forward, or I'm gonna move forward. It's I owe myself to do better in life. I owe myself to give up these bad habits. I owe myself to stop making bad decisions with my finances. I owe myself to move up and build on my business, to move up and to do better at my job, get there on time, or do the things that I need to do. Not necessarily mean you won't stay there, but I owe it to myself to have this relationship with God, because one day I might not be able to do it. One day I might not be able to talk. I might not be able to see. I might not be able to do those things. So right now, while I got the energy, I got the time, I'm going to do the right thing. Make sure that I'm reading my Bible. Make sure that I'm getting closer to God and praying and seeking Him for what I should do next. But let's be honest, after we fight through that and get through that, a lot of people drink because they dealing with that. It's a fight within that they don't want to give up. A lot of people smoke because it's something that they don't want to give up. A lot of people pop pills, painkillers, because it's something that they don't want to give up. A lot of people have sex with multiple different people because it's something that they find within themselves. It's something that they find within themselves, and they cannot get that battle that they in their head. They can't get it out, and they don't want to talk to nobody, so they give it to the bottle. They give it to sex. They give it to drugs. Some people, they work out excessively, steroids. Some people just want to have a break from what's going on inside of their head, and this their escape. But you don't need it. Just work that out, what's going on, that battle within yourself. Not just go get some. Yeah, if you need to go get some help, absolutely, I agree with you. Go and get some help if you need to go get some. But I do say this: sometimes you have to talk that out and get that out of you. And see, man, let's be honest. Sometimes when we fight by ourselves, it can bring on depression. You can have anxiety. You have all these different things try to get inside your head. But I tell you this, I done been through a lot of situations. Been through people gossiping, people lying on me, alcoholism, just not being a good husband, not being a good father, not being a good son, not being a good co-worker, just not being a good person in general. I put on a good face like I did, but if I'm being honest, I didn't like the person who I was when I was sober. I didn't like that person that much. I liked it better when I was drinking because I thought that it made my personality better. It made people like me better. I had so much fun And people love being around this person that drank and acted out, did a lot of cussing and lying, and people like that person. But I like that person too. But I didn't love me. That was the issue. So yeah, the bottle is what I ran to, and something that I fought within was me not loving me when I was sober. That's what I fought inside. Didn't nobody know about it. That's one of the fights that I was fighting. That I had to find out how to love me sober. And the only way I could find out how to love me sober is seeking God's love. God's love. Not only God's love, not only God's love helped me, but God's love showed me how to love my wife better. God's love showed me how to love my children better. Showed me how to be a better father, how to be a better man in general, how to be a better stand. And once I started being a better stand, then I can start to work on the other things. But until I was able to figure out how to be a better stand, how to love staying sober, and then that stand from God's love was able to love his family, his wife, his children better, then I got a better understanding. And that fight, I finally got a chance to knock the drinking out. But until the real fight that I wasn't telling nobody about was not loving myself, until I got to that point where I was able to fight that, that's when I started having a breakthrough. But long as you lying to yourself and saying, you know what, that ain't the issue, man. Thought drinking was the issue, but not loving myself was the issue. And we will put what we like to do, what we like to indulge in, we like to say that's the problem. But the silent fight is really the bigger problem. The silent fight is really the bigger issue. And once we recognize that we not fighting against the things that we are indulging in, we fighting against ourselves in the inside.